Oh lord, I found some old time lapses, which means it's time for another episode of Let's Make an Art. Hello friends! Whether it's your first time here or you are one of the OGs, it is definitely not a secret that art is sort of my thing, and I do it pretty regularly, which means I have ended up with quite the treasure trove of time lapses that I just haven't really done anything with. So this video is me doing something with one of them. In this case, it's the illustration that I made that has ended up being the starting soon screen for a lot of the streams. It's also a graphic that the illustration itself, I've given a couple of different backgrounds. So it's been used a couple of different times for a couple of different things, and you guys are probably gonna recognize it, but it was my idea of just something chill vibes, relaxing. I don't know, I'd seen other YouTubers, VTubers and the like with starting soon screens that was basically just them chilling. And there's like either a cup of coffee next to them or something that has like steam rising, or like there's something in the background that's kind of moving or kind of animated. So it kind of gives this feeling of movement. So that was sort of the end goal with what I wanted this to look like when it was all done and over with. So that's kind of what the goal going into it was. Actually creating it was an entirely different animal, because I ended up doing sort of like base colors in sketches, I guess. And then after that, I realized that I was going to need some environmental lighting for like the different backgrounds, which you'll see later ends up coming into fruition when I do the actual background scene for the starting soon stuff that I did, or that I used for it. I don't know why it's making that face. We're just going to pretend it's not making that face. Oh, okay. Let's just acknowledge it while it's happening. I don't know. I have this asset that I use pretty regularly that's like a brick wall. The bricks are kind of purple, but the lighting is very like neon pink, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And I fell in love with it. It kind of gives me this like comedy club vibe, I guess. So during the thought process for kind of coming up with what I wanted the starting soon version of this design to look like, I was wanting to recreate that brick asset, but I also didn't have like, I didn't have the patience to make it look hyper realistic, and I kind of wanted this finished illustration to be somewhere in between like anime, manga, art style, comic book, you know, whatever. I wanted it to be really stylized, but still represent kind of like that background asset that I use all of the time, which is where it kind of ended up. So at some point here, I start going through, I guess I could be watching this while I do this voiceover, but I mean, like, you'll see I get the, well, shit. I don't know. At some point I get the base shading down, which I think I'm doing. I don't know. I guess I could be. I don't know where I am at this. Yeah, and then I put the background. I like a lot of textures, and then the environmental lighting. It all happens very fast when it's like the final effects and stuff. I went through a couple of different like animations for what I wanted the smoke rising to look like, and then there's of course the neon starting soon light that I added. That's also an asset that I've used a bunch of times in other like stream layouts, so I just sort of added it in. The bat light, fun fact, that neon bat light is a light I actually own. I also have the green ghost one, but I guess the green in this particular color scheme was a little too contrasty, so I omitted it from this one. But as you guys know, the more Erdy is a central feature in my streams, the more the green keeps working its way into the color scheme. It is what it is. It's a side effect. Either way, I appreciate you guys hanging out and listening to me yap for several minutes consecutively. I just needed some sort of a voiceover to go with this time lapse. I figured I'd kind of talk about why I made this artwork, how many times I've used it, you know, that whole spiel. If you guys enjoy these videos, of course, please like, subscribe, comment, do all of that stuff. And feel free to check me out on other platforms. I do occasionally take commissions, so if that's something you might be interested in, feel free to find me one of the ways you can find me. You can also support my work on Ko-fi, Coffee, however you say that. Is that everything? I think that's everything. I don't know. I'm terrible at this, so I'm gonna go ahead, wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are fantastic. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!